Hello everyone, welcome to my channel if you're new, welcome back if you're a subscriber. Special thanks to all of my patrons. My name's Neil, and it's time for the next episode of University Challenge. We're deep into the quarterfinals now, the double knockout stage of the tournament, and today we get two Cambridge colleges battling it out. This is episode 27 of season 51. If you're following along at home, St. John's Cambridge versus Emmanuel Cambridge. I remember in particular St. John's having a very strong showing in the first and second rounds. I suspect they'll be strong again. But as last episode showed us, the potential for a runaway match still exists, even at this level. So much of it does depend on the luck of the draw, what topics come up, and your speed on the buzzer. A very underrated part of the quiz culture, especially in a game like this, where you are permitted to buzz in early. I love that there's a penalty if you get that wrong, but the risk is often worth the reward when you do know it. Anyway, let's jump into it, guys. This is episode 27, St. John's versus Emmanuel, both of Cambridge.
Hello, tonight, two more teams will be dipping their toes into the murky waters of our quarter-final stage. Both tonight's teams are here thanks to the rule which gives a second chance to the highest-scoring losing teams from the first round. St. John's College, Cambridge, were defeated by fellow quarter-finalists Imperial in their first match, but since then they've beaten UCL and Queen Mary London.
I remember these guys. Maybe I misremember them being a complete powerhouse in their previous matches, though. Because I do remember that loss to Imperial that they had. Imperial's such a powerhouse, though.
Now, Emmanuel College, Cambridge, were leading for most of their first-round match before a late surge from St Andrews saw them behind at the gong by only a 5-point margin. They escaped the repechage with relative ease by beating the Royal Northern College of Music and then defeated St Catherine's College, Cambridge in the second round. Fingers on the buzzers, here's your first starter for 10. Referring to pieces of knowledge considered to be of trifling importance, what word is the plural form of the Latin term for the liberal arts of grammar?
Trivia.
Jones Clark.
Trivia.
Trivia is correct. You get 3 questions on international events of 1991 for your bonuses.
91.
Its capital, Hargeisa. What region in the Horn of Africa proclaimed independence in 1991? It continues to be a de facto, but largely unrecognised independent state.
Could that be Somaliland?
Maybe. There's also like Western Sahara.
But that's
there's
Somaliland?
It is Somaliland, yes.
Okay.
The Treaty of
Because
Asuncion
Somalia's
in
in 3
1991
separate,
created what regional
essentially
economic
independent chunks.
organisation, also
I was
known
thinking
as
the third
Common
one.
Market of the South?
I missed this question.
Mercosur. I don't think it's
Talking too much.
Mercosur.
That's Mercosur.
Sewer.
And finally, on the 25th of June 1991, which 2 present-day countries became the first to declare independence from Yugoslavia?
Slovenia and Serbia. Slovenia and Croatia.
Croatia and Serbia.
No, Slovenia and Croatia. The male of what animal appears on all of these? The coat of arms of Kenya, the flag of the Belgian region of Wallonia, and the seal that marks wine of the Chianti Classico region.
Emmanuel Rethel.
Chicken.
Yes, I'll accept that. Coined in 1942, the term modern synthesis refers to the reconciliation of the ideas of Darwin with those of which other biologist whose work was rediscovered in the early 20th century?
I don't know.
Mendelian laws of inheritance, maybe?
Mendel wasn't rediscovered, though.
Mendel?
Mendel is correct, yes,
Oh.
Gregor Mendel. A leading figure of the modern synthesis, which Ukrainian-born scientist published Genetics and the Origin of Species and the essay Nothing in Biology Makes Sense Except in the Light of Evolution.
Pass.
That was Dobzhansky. The term modern synthesis was coined in a work by which scientist, the grandson of the biologist nicknamed Darwin's bulldog?
Huxley?
Huxley is correct, yes. Also known as tar camphor, what white crystalline compound with the chemical formula C10H8 has a structure with 2 connected benzene rings? Its pungent smell meant it was formerly used to make mothballs.
Naphthalene.
Epsom salts.
No?
Dibenzene.
No, it's naphthalene. Born in North Dakota in 1904, Clifford Still is credited with laying the groundwork for what artistic movement, whose exponents include Barnett Newman, Mark Rothko, and Jackson Pollock?
Abstract Expressionism.
Correct.
I knew Rothko. I didn't know the name of the
These
school.
bonuses are on
I knew
mythical
Rothko
creatures in
and
Borges' Book of
Pollock.
Imaginary Beings. Name each creature from the description. They all begin with the same letter. Nobody seems to have laid eyes on this woman of the fairies. She is less a shape than a mournful screaming that haunts the Irish night and the Scottish Highlands.
Banshee.
Banshee.
Banshee is correct.
Yeah.
Through the
Starts with
ages,
B.
it grows increasingly ugly and horrendous. The name comes from the Greek and means little king. What remains constant is the deadly effect of its stare and its venom.
Basilisk, I think.
Ooh. Yeah, okay.
Basilisk is a
Basilisk.
Basilisk is correct.
good job for
Before
them.
the Christian era, it was the magnification of the elephant or of the hippopotamus. It is now precisely the 10 famous verses describing it in Job and the huge being which these evoke.
Behemoth.
Behemoth is correct, yes. For your picture starter, you will see a diagram of a theatre. For 10 points, please
Oh,
name
boy.
the type of stage. No
I don't know
idea?
my stage architecture.
Matchbox?
No, it's a proscenium. Which ceremonial county is the location of all of the following? The birthplace of the poet John Clare, Jane Austen's Mansfield Park, and the Battle of Naseby. It is the only county to border both Oxfordshire and Cambridgeshire.
Nottinghamshire.
Bedfordshire.
No.
Northamptonshire?
Correct. 3 more common types of staging. Firstly,
Theatre in the round? No, it isn't, because it's only
In
three-sided.
the round?
no, that's thrust. Secondly,
Catwalk.
Galley? Or galley, maybe?
no, it's traverse. And finally,
In the round. That's got to be in the round.
that's correct, yes. The 1978 Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine was awarded jointly to Werner Arber, Daniel Nathans and Hamilton Smith for their discovery of what class of endonuclease enzymes, now routinely used in molecular cloning to cleave DNA at specific sites.
Restriction enzymes?
Correct. The bonuses, they are on the physicist Maria Goeppert-Mayer. Born in Katowice in 1906, Goeppert-Mayer shared the Nobel Prize in 1963 for her work on which description of the nucleus linked to the concept of magic numbers.
Fibonacci sequence. Magic numbers.
The Bohr diagram.
That's the shell model. Her PhD thesis predicted 2-photon absorption, a third-order optical effect where which property of the dielectric varies non-linearly with electric field.
Nothing. I got nothing.
That's polarization density. In 1961, 2-photon absorption was first observed using a europium-doped crystal. In which laboratory in Murray Hill, New Jersey?
Edison Labs.
No, it's the Bell Laboratories. The English portrait photographer Dorothy Wilding created the image used from 1952 on the standard or definitive series of what objects? That image was replaced in 1967 by a profile based on a sculpted relief by Arnold Machin.
That'll be on coins of the Queen. That's the portrait of the
Emmanuel
Queen.
Malcolm.
A coin?
Or the banknotes. But I think it's the coinage.
A banknote.
No, it's postage stamps. 10 points for this. Directed by David Fincher, which film of 2020 is based on events surrounding the creation of...
Emmanuel Malcolm.
Mank.
Is correct. Your bonuses are on pairs of words that differ only in that one of them ends with an additional letter T. Firstly, a tiny piece or speck of a substance, such as dust, and a
Mote.
polyphonic vocal composition, particularly popular during the
Mote and
Renaissance
motet.
period.
Moat and motet.
Correct. A city northeast of Milan, secondly, home to the football club Atalanta, and a plant in the citrus family commonly used in perfumes and infusions.
Bergamo and Bergamo.
Correct. The layer of the earth that stretches from the Moho to the Gutenberg discontinuity, and a large portable shield used by attacking forces in medieval siege warfare.
The mantle and the mantlet.
Mantle and mantlet.
Correct. Take any 2-digit integer x that is not divisible by 10. Let y be the number formed by reversing the digits of x. What is the largest integer that is always a factor of x minus y?
St. John's
9.
clock.
9.
9 is correct, yes. Providing evidence of some of the earliest human habitation in Britain, the site known as Kent's Cavern is located in which county of southern England?
Sussex.
Somerset.
That's in Devon. Which village near Dartford in Kent gives its name to a skull site or heritage park? In the 1930s, it was the site of the discovery of fossilised fragments of a human skull, dated to around 300,000 years ago.
Tiltford.
Villages in Kent. Pass.
It's Swanscombe. In 1903, a substantially complete human skeleton, thought to date to at least 9,000 years ago, was discovered in Gough's Cave, part of which limestone gorge in Somerset?
Cheddar, yeah. Cheddar.
Cheddar is correct.
Now we got a close
The
match.
result of a constitutional struggle that began with Lloyd George's People's Budget, followed by 2 general elections in the same year. What act of 1911 deprived the House of Lords...
Emmanuel Rathel.
The Parliament Act?
The Parliament Act is correct, yes. Which early abstract art movement did Goncharova and Mikhail Larionov found in the 1910s? Its name indicates their stated aim to depict literally what we see, that is, paths of reflected light.
Realism.
No, it's Rayism. Or Rayism.
Rayism. Crazy.
Secondly, Goncharova's work with the Ballet Russe notably included set and costume design for the premiere of Les Noces, a choral ballet by which major composer?
Shostakovich.
Okay, Stravinsky.
Correct. What form of transport is depicted in a major work of 1913 by Goncharova against a background of fragmented signs and Cyrillic text?
I think it's a train. Like
Airplane.
Train. I thought it could be maybe a car. Train.
No, it's cycling. For your music starter, you're going to hear part of a piece of classical music. For 10 points, name its composer.
Holst.
Holst is correct, yes.
Wow.
Your bonuses are 3 more classical works that feature extreme dynamic instructions. Firstly, this prelude, which includes a quadruple sforzando.
Okay, Chopin.
No, it's Rachmaninoff. Secondly, this etude, which includes a chord marked with 8 fortes.
Don't recognize.
Go for Chopin. I don't know.
Chopin.
No, it's not, it's Ligeti. And finally, this symphony. A pizzicato note here is marked with 5 fortes, and the additional note to pluck so hard the strings smack the wood.
Strauss.
No, it's Mahler. For what do the letters CE stand in the abbreviation CES when denoting a medical syndrome?
Cauda equina.
That is correct.
I was never a pre-med student.
Which planet of the solar system has a maximum distance from the Earth of just over 1 billion miles, or about 11 astronomical units?
I mean, it seems pretty far away.
Neptune.
Earth is 1 astronomical unit away. Neptune.
No, it's Saturn. With a diameter of roughly 1 million kilometres, Saturn's faint outermost ring is created by the geysers of Enceladus.
E.
E is correct, it's the E ring.
Wow.
With a diameter of a little over 1,000 kilometres, which moon of Saturn has an exceptionally low density and orbits between Enceladus and Dione?
I don't know enough of my moons of Saturn.
Mimas.
No, it's Tethys. In 1812, Maria Branwell married an Irish-born Anglican clergyman with what surname? After they moved to Yorkshire, the 4 of their children who reached adulthood...
St. John's Chan.
Bronte.
Bronte is correct, yes. A 1937 literary collection by Louis MacNeice and W.H. Auden has the title Letters from which island country?
Ireland.
No, it's Letters from Iceland.
Iceland.
Independent People is a major work by which Icelandic writer who won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1955?
No.
Sigurdsson.
No, it's Halldór Laxness. The medieval Icelandic writer Snorri Sturluson created the younger or prose version of a literary collection known by what short name?
The Edda.
Edda is correct. Right, 10 points for this. Alkali and plagioclase are classes within what large group of minerals?
Emmanuel Thorte.
Feldspars.
Feldspar is correct. Which Turing complete simulation was devised by the British mathematician John Horton Conway in 1970?
Conway's Game of Life.
Correct. Conway was inspired by the 1948 paper, The General and Logical Theory of Automata, by which Budapest-born mathematician?
This is von Neumann, I think.
Von Neumann.
Yeah, that
Von
sounds
Neumann?
right.
Correct. What six-letter name is used for the smallest moving pattern in the game? It repeats in a 4-cycle and contains 5 cells.
Glider, I think.
Glider is correct. 10 points for this. Which musician collaborated with Philip Glass on the 2014 song collection Ife, drawing on influences from the Yoruba language and her upbringing in Benin in West Africa?
I don't know West
All but
African
blank.
songwriters.
It's Angelique Kidjo. The move of what chess piece could be used on the periodic table to describe the positional relationship of copper and aluminium, aluminium and nitrogen and chlorine?
St. John's
Knight.
clock.
The knight.
The knight is correct, yes. An early example of intercropping, the Three Sisters system used in North and Central America grew beans, squash,
And
which
corn.
crop of the genus Zea?
Maize, corn.
Maize is correct. Pellagra occurs in places where the diet is predominantly of maize and is caused by a deficiency of what substance, also known as nicotinic acid or vitamin B3?
Thiamine?
Thysin. Thysin?
No, it's niacin.
Niacin.
Which US scientist's 1950 paper, The Origin and Behavior of Mutable Loci in Maize, showed that some genetic sequences could be mobile? She won a Nobel Prize in 1983.
I need to study my Nobel laureates as well because they come up all the time
Barbara
on
McClintock?
UC.
That's correct. Well done.
We remain
We're going to take
very
another solid
tight here.
question. The Stadio San Paolo in Naples was renamed in December 2020 in honour of which footballer who played for Napoli between...
Maradona?
Maradona is correct, yes. 3 questions linked by a name. A UNESCO World Heritage Site, the Maya Devi Temple at Lumbini, is dedicated to the mother of which religious founder?
What country do you think this is in?
Gautama Buddha.
In Maya, so it could be in
Lumpini is in Nepal.
Siddhartha Gautama?
Correct. Born in 1959, the designer Maya Lin is perhaps best known for which black granite memorial in Washington, D.C.?
It's a Vietnam.
Vietnam War Memorial.
Vietnam War Memorial?
Correct. Maya Fey is a companion of Phoenix Wright in which video game series by Capcom?
Ace Attorney.
Ace Attorney is correct. We're going to see a painting. For 10 points, please name the artist.
Not a clue.
Turner.
Turner is correct, yes. Your bonuses are on works by 3 later artists, also influenced by Goethe's thoughts on colour. Firstly,
Mondrian?
This could be Paul Klee.
Paul Klee is correct.
Okay.
Secondly, this early pioneer of abstract art.
Chagall.
No, it's Hilma af Klint. And finally,
Okay. Oh, jeez.
It's Miro, I think.
Is that Miro?
no, it's not, it's Kandinsky.
Kandinsky. Yeah.
From 1180 to 1918, the Wittelsbach family was the ruling dynasty of which...
Bavaria?
Bavaria is correct, yes. In each case, I need the precise year of the Common Era in which the following took place. All 3 answers end in the number 99. Firstly, the death of Yoritomo, the first military ruler of the Kamakura shogunate in Japan.
1799.
799.
It's 1199.
11.
The year often given for the foundation of the Ottoman Empire by Osman Ghazi.
1399.
No, it's 1299. The Sikh ruler Ranjit Singh seized the city of Lahore. 2 years later, he proclaimed himself Maharaja of the Punjab.
1599.
1799.
1799 is
Oh,
correct.
geez.
What
My
physical
Asian history
phenomenon
sucks too,
was
guys.
specifically mentioned in the citation for the Nobel Prize awarded in 1921 to Albert Einstein.
Emmanuel Thate.
The photoelectric effect.
Correct. They do not easily rise out of obscurity, whose talents straitened circumstances obstructed home. Born in about AD 55, which poet wrote that in his satire?
Juvenal.
Juvenal is correct. Congratulations to both
Very
teams.
well balanced.
Emmanuel, 155 is a great score. You were up against very tough opposition. You did very, very well. And it's goodbye from me. Goodbye.
Yeah, that's the kind of match I'm looking forward to in these quarterfinals. Just very close, competitive, not dominated by a single player. Just good competitive quizzing. A lot of fun. That being said, I'm not sure I'm going to see either of these teams make it into the semifinals, because I do feel like there are some powerhouse teams that they're going to run into. Now, Emmanuel may get lucky. Perhaps they'll end up against King's College London in their next match. And I don't know how the matches are sorted here in the quarterfinals. Nevertheless, I'm overthinking it. Let's just enjoy the quizzing for what it is. A lot of good, clean fun. So thank you guys so much for joining me. As always, I appreciate your thoughts and comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, everybody, take care, stay healthy, and we'll see you soon. Cheers.